You can't claim to be a feminist and hate children. They go hand in hand. Ties into a woman's choice to become a mother. Society is so mean to children and mothers. It's ridiculous. Not wanting children is completely fine because that also ties into feminism. But being rude or saying rude things about children and mothers that choose to have babies, calling women breeders, you know what I'm saying? Calling kids evil names, and you're weird. You're weird.
Well, guys, it finally happened. After years of seeing Reddit posts about parents regretting kids, I finally found a post where a child-free person regretted it. I'm 57 years old and married. My husband and I decided to be child-free in our early 30s, and we never looked back. Well, until now. I really thought I wouldn't regret being child-free considering I have an extremely busy and fulfilling life. But now that I see my friends' kids growing up, I just wish I also have my own to teach and nurture. Damn, dude. Said no one ever. I love being child-free every minute of it. I can enjoy early retirement, go buy Cartier bracelets or Maze bags. I mean, come on. She had me going. But I find it hard to believe I haven't come across any posts of people who didn't want kids who later regretted not having them. So I did a quick search. Genuine, serious question. Have you ever met a person who regretted not having kids? The number one response is yes, but they were always childless and not child-free, meaning they wanted kids and it didn't happen. I guess I still have yet to see a post on the internet of a child-free person regretting it when they're older.
Okay, so I never understood why people don't like single child free women. I'm like, what they do? Like, what's wrong with not having no kids? And it's because a lot of y'all don't do nothing but stay up in a person with a relationship business. Y'all swear y'all have decentered men. Y'all swear y'all don't care what men think. Y'all swear that living your child free life is so beautiful and so wonderful. But all y'all do is worry about what people in relationships got going on. If you're not out here dating, you don't have no business speaking on dating when you don't even deal with men in real life. You know what I'm saying? Then y'all always got a story to tell about somebody else's man. Oh, but he be checking on me yet. Like, girl, you know what I'm saying? Like, if your life is so great with no kids and no man, then you need to go on your spa dates and go enjoy your money and go enjoy your free time and stay out of people in relationships business. Like, people not gonna stop having kids. The world will literally stop. Y'all be trying to recruit people to be with y'all. Like,
if you're child-free, you're selfish. How dare you reflect on what you want and what you're capable of physically, emotionally, financially, and adhering to it? You should force yourself to have kids that you don't even want because there's a chance you might be a good parent and they might turn out to be a good person. Everyone benefits when you have a kid you don't want. I don't care that there was a study done that 40% of those 55 and older who had wills gave their money to charity, compared to only 12% of parents and 8% of grandparents. You're selfish. I don't care that studies show that 42% of charitable organizations are created by childless and child-free people. You could be giving your money to your mini-me. Your kids would be fighting over your money when you're on your deathbed. They need money in a capitalist society and when they're fighting the water wars in the future. Now more than ever, when there's an authoritarian administration coming in, how could you not your life to raising your kids when there's no Department of Education, when you're scared for their lives when they leave the house every day, when they can't get access to inexpensive or free health care in this United States of America? If you don't get an opportunity to explain to your daughter why the government doesn't care if she lives or not while her boyfriend is walking free.
Today I learned there's a subreddit that's dedicated to making fun of the child-free subreddit. Of course, being the investigative journalist that I think I am, I had to go look, and they did not disappoint. Someone compiled a list of like comments that they thought were just wrong from the child-free group. And you guys, it's hilarious. Some of them are kind of mean. I was like, oh, that is a little mean. But some are freaking hilarious. And some, I think, just went over their heads and they were just complaining about it in the comments. And I thought it was just hilarious. Personally, I think this guy is a good example of why people should be able to easily give their kids up to CPS with no fault. I agree. As much as I have a difficult time feeling like toddlers are people, I do think toddlers are people, but he did something wrong by unaliving it and deserves punishment. That is true. There should be a program to help people not do this when they can't handle their children. Hello, that makes sense. Like, why is this a problematic comment? I don't get why they think that this is problematic. honestly. Like, do you not think that there should be a program for parents to have if they can't handle their kids? Like, wouldn't you rather that child be alive? With my mom, the reason I would not be having kids is because I want to maintain my smoking hot bod and not give birth. She got personally offended and giving me the silent treatment for a week. Why is that problematic? Is that okay? I mean, if that's selfish, who cares? If they don't want to have kids because they want to keep their body, let them, okay? Who are you to judge them? This is me. The first part I don't agree with. I miss the good old days when parents of disabled kids would just, on them instead of using them. But I would say the last part I do agree with. I think that they shouldn't be using their child suffering for imaginary internet points and fame. That's absolutely wrong. That is a fair and valid point. I don't understand why some people have children knowing they have a severe mental illness. I think that's a very valid response. Like, why would you be upset? Like, how is this problematic? Like, I feel like people who have mental illness are either going to pass it down to the kid or they're going to like treat the kid badly because they have a mental illness and they can't help it. It's the funniest one. Having a kid is literally having a kid is literally just keeping Blake as a pet. And they're talking about what comes out of the man. Literally, a lot of those points weren't even that bad. Like, honestly, they were just truthful. It's like, if you just understand where someone's coming from, I don't know. It's like they think having kids is the end all and the be all, and it's not necessarily the case.
Why are mothers so triggered by people that don't want kids?
So as somebody with kids, I think from my perspective, the reason why sometimes parents can get annoyed and frustrated with people who don't have kids is that it's not just that they don't want kids, but they openly insinuate that you are miserable and hate your life because you have kids. There are people in the comment section of your video doing this. There was one person that said, "Misery loves company," in response to your question. Like, I personally could not give less of a shit about what anybody does with their lives, whether people choose to have kids or not. In fact, most of my friends don't have kids, and I don't care at all. However, a lot of my friends have no problem with just like openly shit talking me and the fact that I have kids right to my face. Like, one time I was on a video call with my best friend and my son woke up and I had to go put him back to sleep, and I came back and my friend just directly to me nonchalantly was like, "I'm so glad I don't have kids. It seems like it would be awful." Don't say that to me. Keep that to yourself. One time I was at work and I managed this team of editors. There was like 5 or 6 people, and they got on the subject of talking about how horrible it would be to have kids and how miserable people with children would be. And they were just openly talking about this and laughing about it in front of me. And they all knew I had kids. And it doesn't feel good to be in a room of people just like openly insulting like a core part of your life. Like, I actually teared up. I think it's the unapologetic attitude that it would be so terrible to have kids and that you must be miserable because you have kids. That is the main issue that parents have with talking and interacting with childless people. Like, it's very insulting for somebody to just to your face insinuate that your life must suck and that you're a miserable person. And I don't think they even realize what they're doing, because like I said, some of my best friends in the world will just casually say this stuff to me. I don't think that it even crosses their mind that this would be hurtful to say to somebody. It's just such an invalidation to such a large part of your life and literal human beings that are a part of your family that you love. Are there weirdos that have kids that go around insinuating that childless people are miserable? Absolutely. Are there weirdos with kids that go around acting like if you don't have kids, your life isn't fulfilled? Absolutely. I totally see that, and that absolutely happens. But I'm not one of those people, and yet I constantly experience this. So in summary, I guess ultimately I don't feel like it's very in good faith to just say that parents are triggered by people that don't have kids because they don't have kids. I think it's more that a lot of them are very invalidating to people with kids and just insinuate that they're miserable, sad people, which is super insulting.
This is a comment on my friend Cecilia Regina's post, and this is her comment. Please follow her if you're not already following her. Although odds are if you're following me, you're probably following her. The comment says, "And this is why men get so angry at child-free women. because they know they will never be able to pull these kinds of stunts to humiliate and control you. And that's why they are trying to take away our ability to control our own fertility, because they know, the world knows, men know, governments know, that the easiest way to trap a woman in marriage, to slow a woman down, to make it harder for her to participate in paid labor is to get her pregnant. Preferably get her pregnant a few times. If you're really hardcore about it, keep her pregnant and raising kids as long as you possibly can. It's the easiest way to slow a woman down. For Black women, it is a pipeline to poverty. Everyone talks about, the school to prison pipeline with Black boys, but nobody talks about the pregnancy to poverty pipeline for Black women and girls. And once I read that statistic as a 21-year-old college student, and I realized, you know what, this is something I never really wanted to begin with. I only ever had the conversation with someone because I happened to be dating someone in my late 20s who desperately wanted children and was obsessed with having them. I was about to go to law school and he was a doctor and he had this whole Huxtable family image. And he was like, well, Claire Huxtable was a lawyer and she had 5 children. First, fictional. And second, we don't really know, assuming, let's say Claire Huxtable existed, right? We don't know how much being a mother of 5 and being a lawyer took out of her soul over those 20 years, 25 years when she was raising them 5 kids. And that's the part that nobody tells you about those arrangements, the cost. Oh yes, you can participate in paid labor and be a mother. But in this country especially, it's going to cost you. It's going to cost you in money, and it's going to cost you in pieces of your soul. It's going to cost you in your health, and sometimes it's going to cost you in your safety. Yes, single child-free women, they really hate us because it's getting harder and harder and harder to shame us into submission. They know they can't trick us into submission because it's medically impossible to get us pregnant. But since more women are getting wise to the game that the world is trying to run on us, it's harder and harder to shame us into submission. And that's kind of the part that's really making them angry. They're like, oh my gosh, we keep insulting them and telling them they're going to die alone and telling them they're horrible people, and they don't care. They're not complying. They're not doing what we want. See, these tactics used to work. Even during the feminist movement, even during the 60s, 70s, 80s, shaming women into compliance with patriarchy, those tactics used to work. In fact, in some areas, they still work. Like changing your name when you get married. 80% of women still do that. And even feminists, you'll be on a forum in a comment section with a bunch of feminists who will get super butthurt when you bring up the fact that 80% of women still change their names, and why do we do that? And then that gets into the whole conversation about choice feminism, which is a whole different subject. But if you don't want to have kids, you don't want to have kids, or you know that you had all the kids you want to have, get sterilized now, because after abortion, now they're coming for birth control. A lot of these new abortion laws make certain forms of birth control classified as abortifacients, and the same thing as murder, basically. And after that, they're going to come for sterilization. Because once we get, and this is what I really want to hear. In 2025, I want to see the data of the increase in both female and male sterilizations between when Dobbs was decided and then. I'm really curious to see those numbers, because I think rates of sterilization, particularly for women, are going to skyrocket, are already starting to skyrocket. We have data from web traffic with Google searches, inquiries about how can I get sterilized. But I want actual data to know how many people actually did it, because something tells me those numbers are going to be big. Just like Hope Peddler's predicting the Great Divorce, I'm calling it now. I'm predicting the Great Sterilization. With all these reproductive rights restrictions and the sad state of our healthcare and the sad state of our maternal mortality rate, I think riding sidecar with the Great Divorce is going to be the Great Sterilization. So let's see what those numbers look like in 2025. But to them, we're the worst. Single child-free women, we are the worst because they can't control us.
5 children didn't hear me. I said 12 children.
You said 12 children. You guys. Yay! Yay! Mommy's pregnant! Yay! You're pregnant!
Wait, no.
I don't know what I'm gonna have, but yes, I'm pregnant.
Give me. No way. You're pregnant.
Yes, I needed to get it out.
The harsh reality that no one wants to talk about is that more and more mothers are going to start neglecting their children. Yes, more and more mothers are going to start neglecting their children.
My life is forever changed. My life is forever changed. I will never be the same. My youth was stolen from me. I had to put my boots on the ground and become a single mom at 21 years old. I didn't get to live. I didn't get to live. I didn't. My life is not what I wanted it to be. Not even close. But I love being a mom. I'm holding space for two things at one time. Just don't date men. We are at a point in society where we are waking up to the reality of the patriarchy, which is a very real thing that I didn't used to believe in, and I fucking do now. To what men are really like. I will never see the change in men that I need to see to feel safe enough to ever date again in my entire life. It will take too long. The change that we need to see in men will take too long. It's 100, 200 years from now. So that's my life. So just don't date men. Just don't. Just focus on yourself. And don't have kids with the wrong person. And I don't know how to tell you what man is the right man because I thought they both were. I thought they both were the right man, and they were not.
This economy, the war on women, the war on children, it is going to get to a point where women are going to say, fuck this shit. I cannot escape a fucking day on my For You page without running into a video of a mother who is a single mother complaining about how exhausted she is. And honestly, I wouldn't even say that it stops at single mothers because there are a lot of single married mothers. Women that are married to someone and it's almost as if they're a single mother because they're having to do everything in regards to the child. Literally, all the man had to do was just pump and dump inside of her. And now he's a father without doing anything fatherly, without being present or helpful for his own children at all. So much that a lot of these men consider taking care of their own children as babysitting. Women are going to start neglecting their children because these women are doing everything the right way. These women are doing everything that they were told that they should be doing. And at the end of the day, there is no right way because at the end of the day, people have free fucking will. A lot of you holier than thou people, a lot of you self-righteous people, a lot of you people that oversimplify every fucking thing because you think you got the answers to life. A lot of y'all will sit here and say, oh, all you have to do is find a nice guy with a nice job. Okay, a man with a nice guy and a nice job is no longer going to be a nice guy with a nice job if he so decides not to be anymore. The man that you thought was going to be a good partner and potentially be a good father, okay, he can be that until he decides that he's not going to be that person anymore. Things change instantly. You can go from having all the support in the world and your husband can die. Your husband can die tomorrow and you got 3 children. So now you're legit a single mother of 3 fucking children with only one income. Only one income coming in. Women are going to start neglecting their children. And then the largest slap in the face is the fact that here in the United States, they keep trying to bring up the goddamn declining birth rate. You want us to care about making babies when you are not even creating an environment, a community for the babies that are now living to even be properly be taken care of. Women are going to start neglecting their children. And guess what? I don't fucking blame them. I don't fucking blame them. Mothers are in survival mode because motherhood is not the problem. The environment in which we create for mothers is the fucking problem. And this is why a lot of women like myself, we've opted out because this country hates mothers. Shit, most countries hate mothers. They don't facilitate anything for mothers. They expect for women to have children and live their life as if they don't fucking have children. As if children don't cost money. As if children aren't a responsibility. As if children don't take up your time. As if children don't test your fucking patience. It's getting out of control. It hurts me to the point that women have to literally get on their phone and crash the fuck out to actually be seen and heard as people that are going through something because motherhood is fucking hard and it's getting harder and harder and harder. The resistance is getting stronger. And I absolutely hate to see this, but please don't have children unless you're prepared to be a single mother. Okay? Motherhood means signing up for single motherhood. I don't care if you're fucking married or not. That ring doesn't change a thing. That ring is not going to make a man automatically want to take care of his children, automatically want to be there, automatically want to help you. The ring don't mean shit. Only have a child if you are prepared to raise the child or children alone.
So when young adults who don't want children are asked why, they often give reasons like personal independence or I just don't want children, very individualistic reasons.
Yeah, individualism to me is a nice way to also frame the concept of selfishness. These are people focusing on their own individual needs and desires as opposed to those of perhaps of a family.
In some cases, it could be selfish. You want the freedom, you want to travel, you don't want to get bogged down by the difficulty of having to raise children. But for the vast majority of Americans who choose to forego raising kids, I think the reason is pretty obvious to the rest of us.
Kids are expensive. We've seen birth rates fall in the US since the Great Recession.
But let me also note there are other reasons why, good reasons why. I mean, we live in a country where there are endless school shootings, and the response we get from the very same people over at Fox News is we're not going to do anything about it because we love our guns. Second Amendment, shut up.
Every time I get on this app and I go on Childfree TikTok and I see this person talking about I decided never to have a child. I made this adult decision to never want to, prioritize something when I know that the priorities in my life don't align with children. And I love traveling, and I love learning more about culture. I love being worldly educated. I love to sit down and read the news and educate myself on the political policy of the world. I love to learn about new people. I love to go to dinners, and and I'm like, you're the exact person I want to reproduce. And I am so pro being child-free. But it's every time I hear a child-free person talk about their demeanor, their calmness, their education level, their overall outlook on the world is the exact type of person I would want to reproduce. And I look at them and they're also beautiful. Beautiful genes, worldly thought, educated. And they're I don't want to bring a child into this world with everything else happening, and I don't want to give up a big part of me. That is so mature. You would make a great mama and dada. And I respect the fact that you're child free, but damn!
Why do y'all hate women that don't want kids? Give me a serious answer that makes sense.
That's a great question. One that I have been asking myself for the past almost 5 years that I have been posting child-free content. Hi, I'm Jessica. I'm 55 years old. I'm a retired teacher and now full-time content creator. So when I first started making child-free content, there weren't many people talking about that openly. And since I have known from a very young age I didn't want children, I thought it would be good to kind of open that dialogue. And because of that, I gained some, notoriety. And I had people from Russia come and interview me. I had people from Germany come and interview me. I had people all over the world picking up my story and talking about being child-free. Well, now there are so many wonderful child-free content creators on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube that the dialogue is out there. When the dialogue gets out there, the criticism also gets out there. A lot of the criticism I get is not from women, it's from men. Shocking, I know. But there is a comment that crosses gender lines, and it's this. They'll ask the question, why are you making a video about being child-free if you're so happy? Are you trying to convince the world or yourself? And they truly think it's a gotcha moment. They think the only reason I'm doing this is to put on a happy face because I'm really miserable without children. No. I make child-free content so child-free people have representation. It builds a sense of community. I did not have that representation when I was younger. And so it's so good for us to be talking about this issue that is becoming more prevalent. And as this issue is being talked about more and becoming more prevalent, the criticism has amped up. So what do the men say? Well, they don't comment on the content of my video as much as they comment on me. Yes, they go right at me. The woman they didn't know existed, saw for 10 seconds, started to get big feelings, and then needed to do personal attacks on. For some reason, seeing a happy, child-free woman just makes the blood behind their eyes go thick. It disorients them. And they get their one little finger and go to the comment section and tell me how wrong I am. They tell me I look lonely. They tell me I look sad. They ask me what antidepressants I'm on. They can't wait until I get old on my deathbed with nobody to visit me. Sounds to me like those might be all things that they fear. But the main thing I think that bothers them about child-free women is that we are women who have not followed the traditional path that they have been taught their entire lives, and they don't know how to deal with it. They were brought up thinking that they would grow up, get a wife, have kids, have her do the emotional and physical and mental labor of a household, and everything would be just as their fathers and grandfathers had it. So when they see a woman who is child-free and openly expressing how happy she is being child-free, it doesn't match what they were taught. So they need to tell that woman, you made a mistake and you will regret it. And that is such a flimsy argument, because not only do I not feel as if I've made a mistake, I truly know that if I ever felt regret, I would rather regret not having a child than regret having a child. Okay, that's my side. What do you think? Why do child-free women get so much hate?
Y'all hate mothers so bad. The way y'all are talking about mothers, it disgusts me. Every day I'm reminded why I create more than I consume, and when I feel like I'm consuming more than I create, I gotta switch that up real quick. Because you have women on these apps saying things like motherhood is a humiliation ritual and all these other like very horrible things. And it's just sad to see that social media is really like making women fear motherhood, fear birth, hate men, like the list goes on. And I sit here and I see these things happening, and like I can spot a psyop from a mile away. I can spot a social media mind control manipulation like from a mile away. And I see all these women getting got like left and right. Okay, like yes, we can talk about that women were programmed to like aspire to be a wife and a mother, and like that's it, and that women were forced to have children and all these other stuff, because that is true. But we don't have to be so polarized that we completely flip to motherhood is the worst thing that could ever happen to me or to you. Motherhood is ghetto. Like all this shit, it's ridiculous, and it disgusts me, all of the negative commentary on motherhood. And if we keep speaking these things, and if people keep believing these things, we're putting that all out there into this world, because we are divine creators. Do y'all not get that? Obviously you don't. Has it never occurred to you that some women actually really do love their children and spending time with their children? Some women actually enjoy, even through complications or different things that come up during pregnancy, some women know and experience motherhood as a spiritual journey that it is. Some women are giving birth so blissfully that, you know, they're not walking into their motherhood journey completely traumatized and disconnected and disembodied from themselves, not having connection with their baby, not experiencing postpartum depression, anxiety, or psychosis, because even though that is happening very frequently, it is not normal. That is not what we're supposed to be experiencing. But we are seeing all of these things that women are experiencing, and we're thinking this is normal. To be in such pain and grief and despair during the entire pregnancy journey, giving birth traumatically in hospitals and birth centers, and then going into motherhood just in the trenches the entire time. That's not how this is supposed to be. And has it ever occurred to you that some men are actually really good men and actually really good fathers and love being a husband, love being a father, actually love the woman that they chose to create life with? There are good men in this world, okay? There are men that are really every day embodying their divine masculinity and know their role as divine providers and protectors, and have a connection with Mama Earth, who have a connection with Mama Cosmos, the divine mother, and are being guided and spirit-led every day. There are men like that, okay? I have one. Many women have one. I know we're seeing a lot of women in relationships having children with men that they really shouldn't be having children with. But that doesn't give us reason to, you know, like, talk shit about those women because of what they're going through. We shouldn't be on this app talking shit about single moms. If you don't want to continue your lineage, don't. If you want to be the rich auntie, please be that rich auntie. We need more aunties that love their nieces and nephews and are really going to be down for their sisters, okay? Seeing how much y'all hate mothers and children just shows me how much you hate your own mother, and you are living from your traumatized inner child who has not healed and cleared the things that have happened to you during your childhood. That's what I see. I see a bunch of adults that are actually traumatized children just crying for help and projecting their unhealed shit onto mothers. Like, motherhood is actually the best thing that ever happened to me. I'm not getting on this app lying. Like, women are like, why are women getting on this app lying about motherhood? Like, motherhood is the most ghetto thing that could ever happen to you. Maybe you, but not me, and not so many other women. Keep that to yourself, okay? We need to do better. This is why I speak matriarchy into existence every day. In matriarchy, the mother and the child is at the center of everything. There's nothing wrong with choosing not to have children. I believe that not everyone is supposed to have children. I strongly know that motherhood is a spiritual calling. Like, we have soul contracts with our children. If you feel spiritually called to have children and you can support them and you are like embodying this spiritual journey, please do so. Don't let these women on these apps like get to your head. Like, just don't.
So as a child-free woman, have y'all ever wondered why women have such contempt and have such negative feelings towards women who don't want children? So I know on the surface level, we know that a lot of times it's jealousy and it's envy for a lot of these parents. But I kind of wanted to dive a little bit deeper into the, I guess, psychology behind the jealousy and the envy. Why that manifests, right? So generally speaking, most women, the average woman, wants a husband and kids. Until they get that, they are envying or revering women who have it. So then once they get it, they think other women who don't have it envies them and reveres them as some kind of high status level, right? So you get it, and now you feel like, I have arrived, if you will. I have reached the holy grail. I'm one of the big people, right? I made it. And they walk around with that sense of pride and ego until they come across a chick like me, or girlies like you guys, child-free women. And once they find out that no, we don't want their life, their whole world implodes, right? It's like a shock to their system. They're like, wait a minute, what? Because when we say we don't want children and we list the reasons why we don't want them, what we end up doing is forcing them to reevaluate their own choice. Their entire life's idea blows up in their face in seconds, in that instance, right there in that conversation. And people don't like self-reflection. People don't like feeling like they made the wrong choice or that they did the wrong thing. So they fight back. And one of the ways that manifests is by coming at us with the rude, snide remarks. A lot of times they will start out nice until we give them our reasons and why we have these reasons for these reasons and all that. Now it's, well, aren't you afraid you're going to regret your decision later? Well, what is the purpose of your life? Are you a real woman? No man is going to want you if you don't want to have kids, right? You're going to unalive with your cats. You're going to be old and alone, right? They come with all of these really snide, nasty comments because a lot of them don't even realize they're doing it, in my opinion, because they don't realize that you just rocked their world by telling them, I don't want what you have. Because before that, they thought the women that didn't have that wanted what they have, just like they wanted what the women had before they got it. It's just it's earth-shattering to these women. They don't get it. They don't understand how you could not want what they want. So they get to thinking about, dang, did I have this choice? Could I have made this choice? No, kids are a blessing. Life isn't worth living without kids or a husband. Oh my God. So they rationalize. And sometimes they'll rationalize with you. Other times they'll rationalize in their own mind while they're like cooking or doing laundry or something, right? And every time they come across more child-free women who say, we would rather unalive than to have kids. We would rather jump off a cliff and land in an ocean of sharks and get eaten alive than to push around strollers and put car seats in the back of my car every time I go somewhere. If I'm just going to Target to buy tissue, like I would rather be unalived, right? They come with, you're never going to know true love. You know, they say all this stuff. They rationalize in their own minds. So it is a bit of anger and jealousy and envy, but a lot of it is that we force them to question their own existence. We force them to question all of their decisions that led up to where they are in their lives. Even if some of them are miserable deep down with their kids and their husband and they're living life on autopilot, you're still supposed to be jealous of them because on paper, they have it all together. They have the white picket fence. They have the 2.5 kids or the 4 kids, whatever. They have the husband. They have the lifestyle. They have the money. They have whatever it is. They have that and you're supposed to want it. How dare you be out here living your best life, not aspiring to something that I've aspired to my whole entire life until they got it. That's where it comes from. So as I get older, I don't take offense to it anymore. I understand that there's a difference between parents mothers who actually enjoy motherhood and the ones who don't. And the quickest way to tell the ones who are secretly miserable and the ones who are actually happy is all in the way they respond to you. When you tell them that not only do you not want kids, you're never having them. I got my tubes tied. I got my eggs burnt. I got my uterus taken out, whatever, right? Until they realize that you absolutely are not going to have kids, their reaction to you says everything about their mental state. They'll come in comment sections and say all sorts of stuff like, you're going to miss out on the joys of motherhood and womanhood, and you're not going to do this, and you're not going to be fulfilled and all that stuff. It's all a cope. Because they don't understand why you don't want what they have, even if they don't even want what they have now, right? Because they realize motherhood is not what it was cracked up to be or whatever, even if that's the case. So I don't take offense to it. The ones who give you negative, snide remarks are the ones who are miserable. They're miserable in their motherhood. And the ones who are happy in their motherhood, they support child-free women, flat out. It's no other nicer way to put it. They're like, hey, to each his own. Do you, boo-boo. Live your life. If you know you don't want kids, it ain't for everybody. Don't let nobody change your mind. That's their attitude. The miserable ones got something negative to say. That's the quickest way you can tell the difference between the two. So don't take offense to it. Just understand that people are not happy with where they are in their lives and they regret a lot of their decisions and they're mad when they look up and see women living their best lives without making the sacrifices that they had to make.